Why this book? Because in a sense, you chose to focus, as you say in your foreword, on people who were not upfront, in front of camera. You felt enough was known about them, you felt enough was known about their battles, but what is the unifying thread of the 20 women you profile in this book? What binds them together?
First of all, Malika and I can see the future. No, we did not know when this book was going to come out that it would sort of land at this moment when our country is engulfed in this conversation. So, I mean, it was sort of, I don't know if it was fortuitous or just strangely coincidental. The reason we set out to do this book is, over the course of our journalistic careers, and I might add just as an aside that Barkha, Malika and I were all classmates at Columbia, so we really go way back. Over the course of our journalistic careers, we'd both reported on gender, and we'd always been fascinated by, this kind of transformational time that we are experiencing here in the 21st century India. I'm sure 40 years from now, when we look back, we are going to realize that this country is undergoing such rapid change. We're living through it, so we probably are not, analyzing it on the kind of basis that historians will later look on at this moment. But we found, living in Bombay and reporting out of Bombay, this industry, which is a huge part of that city, we found that it was changing at such a rapid clip that, and we would go report and interview these big movie stars. And we would always see these women on set. And we thought, the Hindi movie business, when we were growing up at least, was sort of this strange, removed place and, had sort of a strange reputation and all of that, somewhat tawdry, somewhat sleazy. And these women were nothing like that. So a lot seemed to be changing. And, this country is obsessed with movie stars. But we found that the women that we were meeting on set were equally fascinating. Why weren't we reading about their stories? That was the genesis for this book. And what we found, the unifying theme around all these incredible 20 women, is that they have tremendous courage, tremendous determination. They've worked in this industry, some for a quarter of a century, some slightly less. But they have really kind of come into their own despite all the hurdles that have been thrown their way. And that, to us, is a remarkable journey.
Gayatri, just stepping back and looking at the big picture, across professions, this is about the entertainment world, but across professions, while I'm very uncomfortable with gender generalizations, there is anecdotal evidence to suggest that women are terrible at asking for money, that women, I'm seeing Guneet already not in agreement, that we come from this sensibility where we think our work will speak for ourselves, whereas the men are sitting there breaking down the equity, the shareholding, the increment for 3 years, and then in that cigarette corner the deal is closed. Did you find a commonality? And speak a little bit about your own experiences being a female in the media. Is this something that haunts us all, that we can't walk into a room and say, pay us more?
Yeah, I mean, I think absolutely. Before I was a journalist, I was in corporate America, and I was awful at asking for money. As a journalist also, I'm awful at asking for money. It's, it's basically a labor of love, everything that I do. But yes, I think that we are conditioned from a very young age to not talk about money, to not talk about raises. And when we do, we are perceived, it goes against us. So we are considered aggressive, we are considered, sort of too demanding, all sorts of, and if the man asks for those same exact, has those same exact demands, he is considered well within his rights. Amrita Pandey, who's a studio executive we profiled in the book, she is very senior at Disney and handles about 7 countries across Southeast Asia and is based in Bombay. And she said that this is something that she has struggled with. And actually, she now tells her entire team that, they should not be afraid to ask. And she said, she says in the book, we quote her to say that it's not about chasing money. You have to chase excellence, but you should also be given your, what's due to you. So she actually gives women in her team Lean In by Sheryl Sandberg. And, just to kind of get them to understand that there are ways to go about asking for these things which really should come your way.